welcome to another day. Survived day one. That's very good. I'd love to hear how your Qigong practice went this morning. If there's no immediate questions, I thought it would be good to have some volunteers demonstrate for me what you did this morning so I can see what you've learnt. Sorry to put you on the spot first up, but it's a good way to make sure that, yeah, we've picked up the right things, and also an opportunity. It's not important if you feel like you've got it right or not, it's just whether or not there's any questions or anything I need to clarify. So if someone could volunteer to show me the first practice that you did.
Well, my knees are not locked. Oh, okay. The, like the back a bit tucked in and not pointing upwards, and just standing very relaxed. And then we had our hands just kind of like loosely here. But at some point, Cynthia came hands lower. So I think it was a bit too high, and we're just like feeling the energy from, like from our feet go up here.
Yep.
Feeling the energy from up above to here, and yeah.
Thank you. So what's the level of the hands?
Three fingers below the belly button.
Good work.
Thanks.
And how did everyone find that grounding Qigong?
Felt like at my palm here has like I think it was my imagination, but it's because I was doing like this, so there's like a floating ball of energy moving with my arms. So yeah, like I think automatically it moved my body as well.
Couple of things. I'm not sure if in the video I prompted much about the hands. So when you've got your lagung points facing towards the earth here, so you've got the connection to the earth through your bubbling spring points in your feet, but also through your hands. So, and often if people are going to feel energy, it's, the center of your palms that are the most sensitive. So you can kind of feel that first, the most easiest. But you can kind of play around with moving your hands so you can feel at where the flow of energy feels the strongest, and you would feel it when it's directly facing towards the earth. But it kind of feels like you've got like little joysticks that you can kind of move around. So you can play around with that. So yeah, it's probably not your imagination, Noel. Yeah, and you might have found the movement in your body could have been like, as our energy body is getting smoother and more, unblocked, that perhaps it was helping your body shift some of the blockages in your energy body to get that released and enable the flow of energy from the earth to come through better. That's just what I was thinking as you're sharing there. But yeah, sounds like you got it really good.
So the next movement is Papa Bear, Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Papa Bear, it's letting the pressure on. So the first movement is 70% pressure to one leg and then change to another. So it's like pouring a glass of water from two glasses. So it's moving. And for Papa Bear is where you turn to your the legs that you're giving pressure to.
The weight of your body.
yeah, the weight of your body. And then you turn, yeah, turn. And then for Mama
Yeah.
Bear, it's the other way around, where you turn towards the legs that you're not putting pressure to.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and then the energy circulation is the legs that you're not putting pressure to is where you get the energy, and then you release it to the legs that you're putting pressure to. So it's just like pumping.
Does everyone understand the purpose of doing Qigong in the context of building our connection with nature?
The big focus for me when I was doing the motion was to really harness that energy, like you were explaining, from the earth to really pull it through. But my struggle was really I'm trying to quiet my mind, because I was like, such a beautiful day. I love the air here. Love being out, nice motion. I feel relaxed. My knees too tight. Am I locking my joints? And if I could recall, I think some time in your video, you said that like, if you think too much, like, oh, the energies will just keep seeping out. So really just think about the ground and pulling it in. So I'm like, okay. Back to basics, just motion, just breathing. And I could feel a bit more like stillness, and I could really feel that the way you described it is just like seeping out, or like you just can't contain it or keep it in. So it's like really trying to, that was my struggle, just trying to not let my mind go crazy, like not like just let it run wild.
Yeah, I think that's a common struggle. The good thing with Qigong is often, and it's one thing that makes it very useful to have in your sort of toolkit, is that sometimes trying to do any form of still meditation, whether it's just trying to keep the mind clear, or just focusing on the breath, or even doing a listening meditation, is that that can be even more difficult. So for sometimes people will find having something where there's a bit of movement as a good way to be able to bring the mind in, because there's a bit more action involved. So it can be a good step in between. But yeah, like you said, you still can have trouble keeping the mind on the job. One thing that can be useful for that is counting. So in Mama Bear and Papa Bear, as you go side to side, you could say, okay, I'm going to do, in Taoism, 9's a great number. So it's good to, given that it's a Taoist practice, you could pick multiples of 9. So you might say, I'm going to do 54 Papa Bears, then 54 Mama Bears. And that just gives the mind something else to do, as well as making sure that you are doing a reasonable amount of the practice. But yeah, like you said as well, practicing grounding is a really wonderful and skillful way of using Qigong to help clear that energy from your mind as well. So well done on picking that up. So definitely practice when you'll have 2 solos today. So I encourage you to practice the Qigong during your solo time. And I think I probably said it in the videos, but the emphasis in the afternoon shifts from gathering qi to releasing energy and purifying your own energy body. So you just shift your intention, but the movements can stay the same. What else was I going to say on that? Oh yeah, on the purpose of doing Qigong. Yeah, you're right. The connection's a very literal thing. So you're working on cultivating that very direct and literal connection through having the energy flow smoothly and unobstructed between yourself and nature. For the Taoists, they weren't aiming for enlightenment. Their version of enlightenment was to become a fully integrated human, which when you think about the Qigong practice, I suspect that, one interpretation of that was that your energy body is fully integrated with that of the world around you. And so you're free flowing. And they would say the experience of being fully integrated is joy. So I think often the Taoists have this very, they're not so focused on life is all about suffering. They're quite focused on life is about experiencing joy. And it's not sort of like a hedonistic or frivolous thing. It's that if you are truly experiencing joy, it's actually a sign of how deeply connected and interconnected you are with everything else, which is quite lovely. I love the philosophy. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And it's also in the context of this program where we're moving into practicing communication with nature, the energetic aspect is really important because obviously the communication's not coming through spoken word, it's coming via another means, and that at some level is energy. So the more clear we can be to feeling the impulses from the beings of nature around us, the easier it will be for us to get a sense of communication as well. So lots of levels to it. Of course, it's good for us. But yeah, it's a great thing to be doing for lots of reasons.